Welcome Gen X,
Hello.
welcome GenX Journeys, everybody. I'm Paul Stressner, and as always, I'll start off with something I'm grateful for. Let's see. Well, I yeah, I guess I'm kind of grateful for it. It's spring is almost here, even though technically it's spring. I got out for a run yesterday, and I still had to bundle up a little bit, but it's exciting. Boston Marathon's coming up, so and it was raining this morning and now the sun's out. So yep, I'm starting to I'm getting the spring fever here. I'm ready for it to come on. So let's go. So yeah, I'm looking for some great weather and new beginnings coming. Yep, so that's what I'll have today. And today I'll welcome our guest today. It's Camille Miller. She's a three times best-selling author, business designer, and strategist, and the founder of the Soul Professional Movement. Her work is centered around helping people build businesses and careers that actually align with who they are. And today we're talking about something that goes beyond entrepreneurship because a lot of people have built lives that look right on paper but don't quite feel right anymore. So we're going to get into alignment, authenticity, and what it takes to build something that actually fits and not just what works. So, Camille, welcome to Gen X Journeys.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Paul. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. And before we get started, would you like to say something that you're grateful for today?
Oof, I'm grateful for so much. Um, I also love the change of the seasons, and I live in New Jersey, and it's pretty windy and cold here, but I'm hopeful that it'll get up to the 70s and warm by the end of the week. So that is always nice. Um, Gosh, I'm grateful for so much. I'm thinking like nature and the ability to walk and my
Mm,
family and so many great things that are happening and all the
yeah, I
people I
love.
get to meet in my life by doing things like this.
Yep, I love it. Yeah, and yeah, I didn't even think of that. As the weather gets better, it seems like it's easier to get some movement in, which is
Hmm.
very important.
Yep.
So yeah,
I'm
yeah.
starting to walk again. It got
Hmm
cold and I really stopped walking and I just need to like move my body. I go to the gym, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm a big hiker. And usually I hike right through the winter because the winters haven't been, that dramatic
Mhm.
here in New Jersey. But this winter was unbelievably cold and snowy.
Yeah.
So we canceled. I have like a group that I hang with that I actually lead. And we canceled, I think it was January. We canceled one of our big ones because we heard there was a big snowstorm coming.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, we were planning on doing rocks. Let's not do it. And we ended up getting like 16 inches and we just got back together like 2 weeks ago. Like, so it was months of not of hiking and just being in nature and yeah, so I am very happy for the nicer weather and being able to get back in nature and hiking trails again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it was brutal this summer because I mean this winter because yeah, we had the snowstorm and then it was like below zero for like a week or two,
Yeah,
so the
it was
snow didn't go
terrible.
anywhere, so you can't there's nowhere to hike on
It
there.
was
And then
awful.
yeah, then followed up by a blizzard.
Yeah.
We had 3 feet of snow here in Rhode Island, so so that took a while to go away.
Yeah,
So
same.
yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I would go for runs and then I would have to like go out in the street because the sidewalks were packed with snow and
Yep.
everything. So yeah, yeah. But we're getting there. Uh yeah, so I guess we could kind of like start with the beginning about your journey. I know you worked in like a natural health space at one point.
So
Is
yeah,
it?
I was a CEO of the Northeast Organic Farming Association for the New Jersey chapter, later became president of all of the inter um, conference. But I worked a lot in organic agriculture and sustainability. And that's where I started before I created my now company, which is the Natural Life Business Partnership, where I came out of that um, trying to make a difference in the world and help entrepreneurs with that wanted social impact. They had usually climbed the corporate ladder or did something amazing, but were in very structured, very logically brained jobs and knew they were meant for more. And so I created a professional community and a business incubator to allow them to explore what that looks like and design and create businesses around their authenticity and who they are in the world. And that was in 2016.
Yeah.
And we went to a online model in 2018 using Zoom. And so in 2020, when the global pandemic happened, we just exploded because we
Yeah, you've
already
set
had the
up.
model. Yeah, we already had the model, and that was kind of exciting. And that's when we adopted the Soul Professional Movement, which is a global call for these purpose-driven entrepreneurs all over the world. And now we're still building. We're in 6 continents and 48 countries.
Mhm. Yeah, and I noticed that a lot of us, yeah, yeah, I'm still in a situation where as Gen Xers, we were taught to, go to school, get a job, and work in that job for until you're
Forever.
65. Yeah, yeah, and um, and then we find ourselves out of alignment, and don't know what to do next, and it, become miserable. And, yeah, for example, I've been in my job for this year. It'll be 30 years that I've been in this computer programming job, which was fine at first, but I my passion is with writing, and now I got my master's degree in creative writing as I'm a computer programmer, so I'm kind of like out of alignment now, so I'm feeling that shift.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it was the generation really before us, the baby boomers, that felt like, well, you went to work for a corporation, then you did that your whole life. But those
Mhm.
corporations also took care of you, right?
Right.
They gave you these beautiful pensions and rewarded you for doing something that was loyal, right? They helped, and that just no longer is the case. And I believe in the future, it'll be all of the micro entrepreneurs that are literally independent contractors working all over the world for different people doing different things. And the idea of an employee will actually go away and will be across borders because it just doesn't suit us anymore. And I think,
Mhm.
especially for Gen X, we are multi-passionate, right? And a
Yeah.
lot of that got to be explored as we grew up because we didn't have the oversight that today's kids have. And we were able to explore more of who we were, and we got more in touch with what we wanted as we grew older. And we started to
Mhm.
say, hey, that doesn't feel good. And starting to do a lot of more inner work. And I believe that we've had more of an awakening of what is possible for us when society doesn't tell us what we should be, excuse me, should do,
Mhm.
and we've become this new multi-dimensional person that is not going to retire either. We just keep
Right.
reinventing ourselves. And that is the beauty of our generation. And I think the generations behind us as well will
Yeah.
just keep reinventing because actually every single decade, I'm a different person. I'm a new person and I do constantly reinvent myself. Even though a decade ago I started this company, I've worked it pretty hard, but now it's going to a community supported model where I'm leading the company, and a lot of people from the next generation are actually stepping up to help lead different sectors of it, which is a beautiful way of doing things.
Yeah. That that's so true too with our generation. Yeah, we that was when both of our parents would be working, so we'd come home, we'd have to figure out things ourselves. So
Hmm.
that's kind of like built into us that we experiment, test things out, and
We do. Yeah.
yeah, so we're kind of built for this type of life. Uh, what um you want to say? I think you had mentioned that like yeah, company that you worked for was defunded, and then uh you started exploring, yeah,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs.
So
What made you
the
go into that
yeah,
space?
so my career was all in not-for-profit strategic management. And when my last job was defunded, that was in 2015, that is when I created my current company. And it was because even though I had offers, to continue what I was doing, it no longer felt in alignment. I felt like I really wanted to be helping the people that were changing the world. And I still feel like that today. So that's been over 10 years now, and I've been helping entrepreneurs come into social change and impact and really being a champion in that space. And that is really my goal, right? I believe that we're in this massive space of evolution, right? And we are all evolving into our next chapter. I think the energy is changing in the world. What is expected, we are becoming way more heart-centered and mission-driven and starting to understand that we're becoming more of a global society as we see everything crashing around us. And that's a good thing,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Where my strength is seeing what stays and what has to go,
Mhm.
right? And seeing a larger picture and getting us there. That's what I champion. That's what I'm all about. So my work is all encouraging people to do that, to reinvent, to re-architect, to work with what we know and evolve into what's possible.
Yeah. Because instead of forcing yourself into a box, if when you align with something that you do something that you're aligned with, you just find yourself growing and
Absolutely.
expanding, and things come to you that you would never expected before. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
When you're
yeah.
open to the opportunity, right? Because
Hmm.
authenticity is the highest vibration. So when we sit in our authenticity, when we are truly being who we are, universal law is that we magnetize ourselves to all opportunities that align with that, right? So much opens up when we believe everything is possible.
Yeah, and there's only one of us, so we can't do what other people tell you to do, and what
That's
they
right.
say what's right for them, and
That's
yeah, it
right.
doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah. Life is not about what society says or what other people tell us because we each walk our own path, right? And we have to
On
do what feels
purpose.
good to us and feels right to us. Now, I believe it's all possible to bring in money, but sometimes it takes a while to tweak it just so that works for us, right? Because we still live in our 3D world and we have to pay bills and keep our house and a roof over our heads. And our 5D reality doesn't always want to play in that energy, but we have to. So we are definitely straddling two worlds right now. And the energy is becoming stronger and stronger, leaning towards authenticity, leaning towards what is possible, leaning towards this global united worlds and citizenship, right? And yeah, that's why everything's collapsing around us, right? Because it's no longer going to stand in this new energy.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can feel that. And yeah, and actually, I was just reading or listening to your one of your books, the Soul Aligned Business one,
Yeah.
and I love one of the questions you ask is what story are you telling yourself that you can let go of right now. So yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to get people thinking about that
Yeah. So
or
we
to let
all tell
go.
ourselves stories, right? And that creates our reality. So our thoughts create our reality. So as soon as we change our thoughts, our reality around us change. So it's if you think you're a victim or you went through hard times, you probably did, right? But that's also the story that you continuously keep telling yourself and telling yourself and telling yourself. So you're creating a world that keeps reflecting that to you,
Mhm.
right? But if you say, hey, I'm healed now, or I'm beyond this, or I'm letting that go because it no longer serves me. And now I am going to be the new leader or a healer or a consultant, sought after, highly paid. And this is who my new identity is. You will start to see that an opportunity come towards you. It's hard to do. I'm not
Mhm.
saying it's easy,
Mhm.
right? But it's the stories that we tell ourselves that keeps us in the world we're in. So that's why I always say you want to surround yourself with people in higher vibrations and
Mhm.
that are where you want to be. Because if you're the biggest person in the room, you're in the wrong room,
Yeah.
right? You
Mhm.
have to keep changing the circles of the people that you hang with because their energy is melding into yours,
Yep.
right? You want to be a millionaire,
Exactly.
you got to hang with five millionaires. You want to be successful, you got to hang around with five successful people, right? You have to hang out with those people that are where you want to be.
Yeah. And it's so important to have that support and everything. Because I mean, it's great, with your family and everything, but a lot of times they might be overprotective and
Hmm.
they don't want you to take a chance on doing things. But yeah, if you're around the right people, they see what you're doing and you get a lot of support and motivation from them. So
Absolutely.
community is so important.
Community is very important. I think we lost a lot of community as we went through our 2020 epidemic, and we haven't really recovered from that. But I believe that there's an uprising right now for the in-person community and the making of new friends and the changing of our circles that have held us down for the last 5 years, right? Going into 6 years. So that's a big change. And that's a lot of what the community that I designed, which is called the Soul SOUL Professional Network, and the movement behind it is so we can find people that are doing great things in the world, that are making change in the world, right? They are the change makers. They are the leaders of this new world, new energy, right? Those are the people, when you find yourself being just like them, I always say it, they're logically brained but soul led. If those are your people, you come over and you hang with them because you realize that you can do it too when you're hanging around people that can do it, that are in that higher vibration. We say a soul professional is someone that lives in a higher vibration, has an alternative approach to business, and is here to help repair the world, right? So if that's the energy that you're carrying, you come over to the community and you meet more people and the energy and the vibration is just buzzing. So you can't help but also be successful and make change in the world because those are the people you're hanging around with. And that's my whole thing is, helping people find us. That's why I come on podcasts all the time just to talk about what we're doing in the world. Because if one person hears us, one person knows that we're available, that's who we want to come over and say, we're over here. We're creating great things in the world. We're over here. Just come create with us because everything is possible and more opportunities come when we all hang together.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's interesting how with the internet and everything and all the social media, yeah, where seem to be growing further apart instead of connecting. But now
Mhm.
that there's groups like yours that bring people together, and I belong to a couple CLS and CLA, and I just recently went to an event. Like we meet every Wednesday online, but then when you actually go to an in-person event, the energy is just
Yeah.
magnified.
Yeah. It's
It's
exciting, right? Yeah.
exponentially. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yes.
exciting. Yeah. We're going back to in-person meetings, which we did obviously up to 2019.
Hmm.
But now we're so much larger.
Right.
But we're
Yeah.
going back to in-person meetings, and we have ambassadors that run that leg for us. And I think we
Hmm.
have four or five in the US, three in Canada, and one in Indonesia right now.
Oh
And we
wow.
just started in March. So we are rolling out all over the place.
That's amazing how well it's growing, and it just shows how hungry people are for this type of
Yeah.
connection. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's out
Yeah. It
there.
just makes so much more sense to come out and it's free, and just
Hmm.
hang with people that are doing great things in the world and having conversation around it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what's that saying? You're like the five people that you
Five people
hang
that
out
you
with.
hang out with. You become who
Yeah.
you hang out with, the five people you hang out with. And that's in
Hmm.
all areas of your life,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So the five in business, the five in your personal life, maybe the five in, your gym or your healthcare life, your friends. That's what you become.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah, and back to this, a lot of people were taught to be tactical and play it safe and everything, even if something felt off. So what happens when you start listening to your inner voice? So,
What was the question when you
oh,
start listening?
yeah, like when you start listening to your inner voice, it's sort of just playing it safe, but you feel like you're being pulled somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, the hardest part is listening,
Hmm.
right? A lot of times we hear it, but we don't listen to it, and that's called being in resistance. It's like flowing upstream, like not just
Hmm.
floating downstream the way the river's already going,
Yeah.
but swimming upstream and resisting what you know is true and authentic to you. And
Hmm.
we as humans do that all of the time because society tells us something else. I'm in a space right now of surrender and see what happens.
Hmm.
And it's very, very difficult space to be in because I'm naturally a creator and I want to
Yeah.
do things. So being in this space is hard, but everything in my body is saying this is what you need to do to grow. That's hard to listen to, but it's also my truth. And I think a lot of people right now are in that same space. I call it my surrender mode of just, I'm open to all possibilities. Let me see what comes to me right now.
Hmm. Yeah, and we're always evolving because then it gets to the point where yeah, this just doesn't feel like me anymore. Like I used to have fun with the computer programming and everything, but that's just
Yeah, that's
I'm like at a new
shedding.
chapter. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, you have to shed what no longer serves you. Like, I am a fantastic teacher. I love teaching. I've taught most of my life. It all comes back to teaching, teaching, teaching. But recently, it's okay, let's stop running your programs and let's stop doing the teaching and hire other great teachers to
Hmm.
carry this forward. So in my community, I'm more or less stepping back. I do a free masterclass because I put it on YouTube, but that'll eventually stop too.
Hmm.
I teach more by being on stages and being on podcasts and saying what's real, and not being in the classroom. So I feel like I'm still a teacher. I'm just doing it in a different way, right? The way I express it in the world is different right now, right? When I
Hmm.
write my books, I still teach. I'm just expressing it in a different way,
Hmm.
right? So I'm still doing my work. I'm just doing it differently. And that's usually what changes. Our purpose is our purpose, what we've come here to do. My mission is my mission, right? It's to help everyone bring their gifts to the world. Everyone bring their gifts to the world, right? So how they hear my voice and who they choose as a master or coach to follow them, I don't care. I didn't say that I had to teach them, right? But hopefully my voice reaches them so others may grow and others may find their mission and dreams. So, yeah, we have to go with what feels good, not what society tells us, but to
Hmm.
listen to our inner voice and grow from there because we are all growing. We just have to shed what no longer serves us. And that is another really hard thing to do. I've been doing this all my it's like I had a paid community for 10 years, which was my bread and butter. And then one day it just didn't feel good. And I waited 2 years before I closed it. But boy, the day I closed it, it felt great. My revenue stopped,
Hmm.
but boy, did it feel good, right? But it also allowed me to create something new, right? Then I created the business school. Now we have an open access, and now we have sponsorships and affiliate partners and people that we are collaborating with that wouldn't have worked the other way. I had to
Hmm.
stop my personal work to make this grow. And that's just what we do in the world.
Yeah, yeah, that could be very difficult, releasing something, but and then having the faith that leaves space for something bigger and better to come
Absolutely.
in. Kind of like instead of having like a closed fist, you just open up to receive.
Yeah. 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 Life is
Uh,
about changing. It's about reinventing. It's about evolving, right? As people, we evolve because we get better at what we do and who we are. So as we build our inner work and inner self, we have to change our outer self.
yeah. Hmm. And for someone that feels that disconnect, but they don't know what to do next, where do they start? And I'll lead the witness here. I loved it in the book how you talked about writing things down with a pen and paper. So you want
Yeah.
to take it from there?
So I always tell people use an actual pen. That is an art that we have forgotten, but your brain actually thinks differently when you use a pen than when you type. So it's actually writing things out on paper, what you're thinking. I always say, when you're ready to rebuild something, just make two columns. One, all of the things that you want to show up and all the things that you absolutely don't. So your non-negotiables. And from there, and free write it. So your brain's not stopping you by saying, oh no, people can ask for that, or I shouldn't ask for that, or I shouldn't, people don't do it that way, or whatever your brain's going to do to stop you because it's wired for safety. And get those two columns down and then build from there, right? Just start writing down, even like, what do I need to release? And just start writing and free write so your brain doesn't stop you. Like, literally write every single thing that's coming to you. And then you'll really see what your brain's actually thinking, right? What your beliefs are at the subconscious level. So yeah, every time I do teach, I always say use an actual piece of paper, which is kind of normal for our generation,
Mhm.
but is not normal for the generations below us. All of my kids have been taught to use a paper and pen, but that doesn't mean they do for everything, right? Because we voice text and we do things, without pen and paper now. But the best way to actually do it is write. I still write my books in a notebook.
Oh wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. But that's how it opens up doors for me. Like, what about this? What about this? Right? And I'll put a star there and be like, okay, and have to flip a couple pages. Like, this has to be inserted here. And it's kind of the crazy way of doing it. But that's how I think clearly. And then when I actually type it up, I may add stuff because I'm in a different frame of mind at that point. But I always say, yeah, write out your dreams in a piece of paper, but you can do it in meditation and just ask, what's coming to you.
Yep, that's true too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just quiet time. And I'm not a great meditator as we think of meditating, like quieting your mind and just sitting there. But when I'm walking in nature or driving a car or taking a shower, my body has to be doing something else. A big one is doing dishes for me.
Hmm.
That's when comes yoga or going to the gym. Whenever I can't figure something out, I immediately stop working and go to the gym and go do something to move my body because that will make everything percolate. So we all have ways of doing that with ourselves, and we just have to figure out what is that for me.
Yeah, for me, it's also the movement that I was out for a run when I came up with my idea of the journey of the road runner of running a race in all 50 states
Yeah,
and writing about it and everything. And yeah, a lot of my ideas have either come while I was running or walking.
very
And
common.
and I really like the free flow run to do that as well. You just do it for like 5 minutes straight, just write what comes to your mind. Even if you write down, I can't think of anything to write, you just literally write that down, and then as
Yeah,
you're writing, then stuff will start coming to you. You kind of like
absolutely.
unlocking yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's a good way to
that's
get things out because we're so programmed to block things and say that that's not possible for me. You're like, I don't get to do that. Well, yeah, you get to do anything you want. You have free will.
so. Well, I'd like to talk like a little bit about like the soul work. How would you describe to somebody that's not familiar about soul work?
I mean, the inner work?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Because well, I see you have the soulprofessional.com. How would you like to like speak on?
well, soulprofessional.com is actually our entire network. So the whole
Hmm.
company runs through there. So we have a movement and a business school. online classes, free events, from healing circles to soul circles to oracle card pulling to
Oh wow. Look at
global
everything.
prayer sessions. And all of that is available on soulprofessional.com. So soul work could literally be anything, and it's probably different for all of us.
Okay.
But I believe the people that find us are in their awakening stage. They
Mm.
are just learning about what is possible. Of course, we have the deeper healers and leaders, within us, in the organization, but it's also just for seekers, and maybe they haven't found their job yet or don't know what their next step is. And I'm finding that more and more. The conversation I had before this was someone who is a very decorated academic and well into a career and owns a few companies. And she just said, I don't know what my next step is. And I was like, I get it. I totally get it. So many of us are in that space.
Hmm.
So the Soul Professional Network is just being safe in that space. You can still come to our network. You can still meet people. You can still come to our in person. You can come to our healing circles and our soul work. And we have lots of different leaders. It's not just me.
Hmm.
It's not my personal funnel. It's this network that lives separate from me. I just facilitated and founded it. And it's being exposed to other people awakening to and having those bigger conversations. So, my soul circle, which I run the first Monday evening of every month, is a collaboration of people just coming together and talking about what's happening in the world. So I can say, because I'm very intuitive, I can say, well, I'm feeling this, surge of energy. Yesterday I had it, so I was saying I feel this unbelievable quickening, and I can tell them what I see for the future, right? And someone else can say, oh, well, I study astronomy, and this is what we're seeing in the stars and the planetary alignment and blah blah blah, right? And someone else can
Hmm.
say, well, I read Akashic records and this is what I know from the universal energy, right? So it's about a merging of all of these different things coming together and having a bigger global conversation. And it's open to everyone. I just facilitate it. I don't present. And it's just a sharing, and we pull oracle cards and we talk about, how that word is showing up for us.
Hmm.
So an awakening or our soul piece of it could be anything for anyone, right? And it's all okay. But
Hmm.
it's just this soul professional community is that safe space to explore and to rise and to create a business if that's what you're led to do. If you're a leader, you can do that. If you just want to explore, you can do that. You want to come use the professionals that are in our network, you can do that. It's a completely open network for everybody.
Wow. Yeah, there's so many options and fields and yeah,
Yep.
whatever, whatever you
Yep.
feel drawn to. It's
Absolutely.
something. Yeah.
Whatever you feel drawn to.
Hmm. And people are watching this right now. And I feel like when I was in the middle of reinventing my life and diving more into my writing and get my master's in creative writing, that's when I discovered Craig Siegel because
Hmm.
it was about a month before he released the book the Reinvention Formula, and and I wasn't searching him out. It just like came to me. And then he's into running. He's running marathons. So I had like all these connections with them. So it's so funny how that all came together. So if you listen to yourself and you start following these paths, you're gonna come across the right people.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep.
Uh, but before we wrap up, we'll have a little fun Gen X stuff.
Okay.
See a little lightning round stuff. Who was some of your favorite music artists when you were growing up?
UB40, I found when I was in college, and I still love them today. The original with Ali, the voice. Um, that's my absolute favorite. Let me see, who else? I've gone to so many concerts that I never really followed music when I was young. It's now that I'm older that I'm going back and seeing, like, I saw Rod Stewart 2 weeks ago in concert. right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's 81, right?
Uh-huh.
I saw Tom Petty before he died.
Uh-huh.
I've seen the Eagles. I loved the Eagles, but
Yeah.
getting to see them, Elton John, a lot of the people from the 70s,
Hmm.
really, right? I got to see The Who, I got to see
Wow.
Queen. Now Queen with Adam Lambert. I don't think he sings for them anymore, but you know, all of that. Dennis DeYoung from Styx,
Hmm.
Meatloaf before
Oh
he
yeah.
passed. I saw a lot right before they passed. But
Yeah, it's happening a lot lately.
yeah. Yeah, because well, going to concerts today is so expensive,
Mm.
right? It's such a different experience. Rush was my very first concert that I saw when I was either 13 or 14, and how my parents allowed me to go into New York City at night with friends, like it's like crazy to think about. We just went to Madison Square Garden.
Oh
That was
wow.
my very first concert.
Wow, that's a hell of a first
Yeah,
concert.
a sold out Madison Square Garden. Yeah. But I've seen so many Sting and Shaggy I saw on a rooftop in New York City. And that was one of my absolute favorite concerts.
Oh, that's
So
incredible.
favorite because I love reggae.
Yeah.
So bringing those two people together was amazing. I've seen Sting probably 3 times. I've seen Foreigner about 5 times, but all different. I saw them a cappella,
Oh,
and yeah, I've saw them, full band. Um, oh my gosh, so many people. I love them all.
yeah.
I even
Yes.
love like the older stuff, like Pat Benatar I've seen.
Mm.
Um, um, what's her name? I can't think of her name right now. Dolly Parton. I haven't seen
Oh,
Dolly,
well.
but boy, would I love to see Dolly.
Oh, I bet she's a lot of fun.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I would love to see her. I was
Mhm.
never, well, I guess I was into her music, but I was kind of like Cyndi Lauper. I was just kind of
Mhm.
Madonna. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I was
Yep.
I was so into Madonna back in the day. Um, I just loved music more than I loved a very specific person. And as I got older, I kind of really started to love classical rock, which I never ever liked at
Oh, okay.
all. But I married someone 10 years older, and he loved classic rock, so I heard it all the time. So all of my kids know classic rock because it played in the house all the time. So that's kind of like Steely Dan. And then he loves Steely Dan. And then I went to go see Steely Dan in concert. And I was like, this is freaking amazing. Like it was so good. So good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's the thing with the 80s. We listened to all different kinds of music because when you had MTV and the radio stations, so
Yeah,
it's all different.
exactly.
It could be country and it could be hair bands and stuff. But nowadays everything's kind of siloed. You have your playlists and everything, and it's all like,
Yeah, it's very different. And even like when you tell Alexa to play music I like, it's never like sometimes you'll hear like it'll go off and you'll hear things, but it's like, oh, I forgot about that. But when you listen to a radio, they just played everything. It was such a mishmash and I loved it.
and who were some of your celebrity crushes when you were a teen?
When I was a teen, it was Sean Cassidy, Leif Garrett. I loved Prince. I can't even I can't believe I just didn't even say that I loved Prince's music because
All
boy
right.
did I love Prince's music and everything Prince wrote for everybody else
Hmm.
that I didn't actually know until he passed.
Right.
All the songs I ever loved, like he wrote.
Yep. Yep.
I used to love Sheila E. She had
Oh yeah.
an album or two that I actually have on cassette tape, and one of my kids just bought a cassette tape recorder, and I was like, I wonder if
Oh.
I can find that album. I was like, I bet I still have that somewhere. Um, yeah. So that was probably my only. I was never really into like a lot of actors or like I was never like the fangirl person.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but posters when I was probably even younger than a teen, right? Like when I was 12, it was probably like Sean Cassidy and Leif Garrett.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. They were big. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, you have any final words? You want to tell people how they can find you, reach you?
Yeah. If any of this resonated and it sounds like you, and you can find us at soul, professional.com. If you want to look up my own personal work is Camille L. Miller, and we're on YouTube and Substack and LinkedIn and TikTok and whatever else. Yeah. And you can also find me through the soulprofessional.com. But yeah, if it sounds like something that resonates, you're going through an awakening or whatever that looks like, please come check us out and tell people about us because we are moving through word of mouth, and that's how we got so large.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And you also have your books and everything too. I
Yep.
go through that.
We
So,
put it out
that
there any way possible. We have our 3 books. It's called the Ultimate Guide series. The first book is the Ultimate Guide to Creating Your Soul Aligned Business. The second one is the Ultimate Guide to Becoming a Successful Soul Professional. And the third one is the Ultimate Guide to Leaving Your Legacy. And it's a 3-part series. So they all talk about the book before it. And those can all be found on Amazon.
Thank you so much, Camille. This is a lot of fun, very enlightening. I feel like you reached some people, so
Good.
yeah.
That's it. One,
Uh,
if my voice can just hit one person that needed to hear it, that is my mission. That's why
yep,
I'm here.
yep,
So
yep.
thank you
And
for having me today.
oh, you're welcome, yeah. And yeah, I'm loving what you're doing with the communities and everything. So yeah, so just getting started basically. So
Yeah,
thank you so much.
you are welcome. Hopefully, we'll see you in our community as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right, everybody, and thank you so much for listening and watching if you're on YouTube. See you next time.